The fate of Captain Nicodemus Grimm was no mystery. Captain Grimm died in 1702 when his infamous ship, the Dreadnowt, exploded in Widdlington harbour. His lifelong habit of chewing flint caught up with him 40 minutes into his final voyage, when he set light to his own gunpowder store and doomed the Dreadnought's entire crew. They say the explosion was so loud that the locals in the harbour tavern seriously considered looking out the window. The fireball was reported to be 100 feet tall, and the bowsprit, which is the pointy wooden bit at the front of a ship, shot clean off. It flew 15 miles before landing in Roffle Woods. There it remained, warning the other trees of the danger of going to sea. In the years that followed, Widdlington Harbour was renamed, after someone eventually said the name out loud, but Captain Grimm was not forgotten. Every year, the people of the lovely town of Widdlington, and the neighbouring but less nice town of Widdling-on-Sea, paid tribute to the captain's terrible demise by celebrating Grimfire Night. They gathered on Widdlington Historic Quay to enjoy bonfires, live music, and hopefully not alive hot dogs. "It's what old Grimm would have wanted," the locals told each other, quite inaccurately. Everyone agreed that this year's Grimfire Night was going to be something special. For Bonnie Montgomery, it was going to be unforgettable. After all, her mum was in charge of the fireworks. The lazy sun hung low in the sky, looking forward to knocking off for the evening, as Bonnie darted nimbly through the crowds on the quayside. She was followed by her Grandpa Banks, who was attempting to eat a huge cloud of candy floss without making a mess of his dandy sports jacket, or the vintage camera around his neck. The quay, spelt Q-U-A-Y but pronounced key apparently, was surrounded by aged buildings of yellow and pink sandstone. Bonnie passed the tavern, the jailhouse, and the store where Harbour Master Sandy Futtocks sold all the essentials for a long sea voyage: fridge magnets, funny hats, and postcards that Grandpa Banks wouldn't let Bonnie get a close look at. Clutching her yellow backpack, Bonnie dodged around rusty anchors, antique cannons, and those informative notice boards they put up to teach visitors that the golden age of sail involved a lot less gold and a lot more kidnapping than you would have hoped. She skipped lightly down a flight of stone steps and onto a sun-bleached boardwalk which led off towards the twinkling lights of Widdlington Pier. But Bonnie could not think about waltzing on the waltzer nor heltering down the Skelter tonight. "This way," Bonnie called over her shoulder. "Coming," replied Grandpa Banks, just as a seagull made off with his candy floss. "Why, you cheeky devil!" Bonnie could scarcely believe it. She was about to board a real pirate ship. There, in front of her, as the sunset turned the waters of the North Sea bronze, was the Dreadnowt. The ship was a hulking black silhouette against the sky, draped with seaweed and pockled with barnacles all the way from its prow to a row of 5 elaborately filigreed windows on its back end. The vessel was bigger than Bonnie had expected, and taut rigging creaked overhead as it rocked gently on the tide. Bonnie knew that every knobbly, nasty part of the ship had its own name, but she was not sure exactly what those names were. She was only aware of the funny ones, the booby hatch and the poop deck. Nevertheless, spending Grimfire Night aboard the Dreadnowt had been Bonnie's lifelong dream, ever since she had heard about it earlier that week.